Hey friends, I'm hanging out in the basement getting ready to do some winter sewing today with some different kind of containers. My goal for February of this year was to get 20 containers outside for winter sewing. There are people that do many more of these. If you go online and Google winter sewing, whether in YouTube or Facebook groups, wherever, you're gonna find people that do hundreds of jugs. I am not that ambitious. I have not perfected it yet. I'm still in the experimenting stages. So I'm gonna do 20 in February, and then I probably will do a couple more in March with things that are a little bit more frost tender. But I have got some containers today. I know last week I think I put a video out, but my husband and I engage in a little bit of trash versus treasure war throughout the week. So milk jugs, treasure. 2-liter bottles, treasure. Apple juice jugs, treasure. But a lot of my containers that I have had upstairs have found their way to the recycle bin, and recycle got picked up, and I went to look, and this is what I've got. So today I am working with a milk jug, an apple juice jug. I have 3 2-liter bottles. And then I have one of these bins that I started things in about 2 weeks ago and forgot to put outside. I took the containers out of it, and so I've got one that I can put outside now too. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 containers we're gonna winter sew today. So let's look at the calendar, see if there's things that I missed that I wanted to winter sew, and then check out my seeds and see what else we can get going. Okay, looking on my calendar, I've got everything winter sewn that I was going to try except for listen and bachelor buttons, which I haven't done in the house quite yet. And my green stalks, I'm going to sew them with lettuce, but I'm not there yet. So I went through my seeds, and I'm going to do orange cosmos. This is seed I saved last year. Cosmos is a really easy one to save the seed from if you're looking to start saving seeds. Milkweed, same thing, very easy to save the seed from that. I grew that last year. I'm going to split the big container half butter crunch and half red romaine lettuces, so I can cut those, make a nice mixed green salad. Do lavender, and I'm going to do this Nero Toscano cabbage in my 6th container. Okay, we got to cut these things open. I'll stand up so you can kind of see. I usually start right around here underneath the handles, and I use an old stick, which is probably not the safest thing to use. And I cut mine until it can hinge back like this. So leaves a little bit on the back side. I do the exact same thing for my 2-liter bottles, right about here. I'll finish the rest of these and put you guys on time lapse. Okay, do not forget to label. I can't say this enough times. We're doing common English lavender. This pink Swiss chard. Nero Toscana cabbage, which I've grown Nero Toscana kale before, but never cabbage. So I don't exactly know what this is going to look like. We'll see. Red romaine lettuce. Butter crunch lettuce. Milkweed that I saved. Here, I'll show you these seeds. Milkweed seeds make a pod when they grow, and the pod opens up, and all these little seeds have a feather attached to them, and they just kind of fly away. I mean, not a feather, maybe like a piece of floof. You'll have to look at them. But they're very, very easy to save seed from. And if you get pretty much a pod or two, you've got enough milkweed for the rest of your life. So I'm going to plant some of that because I know that there are people that will buy that from me to create milkweed habitats, because that is the monarch butterfly's host plant to lay its babies. And I know some people that would be very interested in establishing some of that in their backyards where I'm at. And then orange cosmos from the seed I saved too. All right, let's plant these in containers. Okay, I'm putting a seed inside here so it's kind of shielded from the weather. And I'm going to put some seeds in there. That sounds good. Make sure they're covered up just a little bit, not too much. I did pre-moisten this soil, so it's already damp. One container down. Let's do chard. Oh, nope, I'm gonna do milkweed in this one. Milkweed. Label in the pre-moistened soil. Also, don't forget to drill holes in the bottom. I used my trusty old steak knife, but you can use a drill. I've heard that works better. I just always happen to have a knife handy. And that makes me sound a little bit crazy, but I just am in the kitchen all the time. And I got a new set of knives last year, so I have an old set of knives that I use for random stuff. And a new set of knives. So I am knife rich. Use what you got in all things, right? All right, those are all covered up nice. That's 2. And let's do these orange cosmos in here. I left a stray hair in there. I shed a lot. I got a lot of hair. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so many seeds. I cannot put all these in here. Cosmo seeds are really easy to save too because they're nice and long and skinny. Can you see that? Nice and long and skinny. You can't see them very well. Just take my word on it. They're nice and easy. Here, I'll put a couple in my hand. You can kind of see. They self-seed like crazy too. So if you put them in your yard once, you'll probably always have them. Which is good for me because I love cosmos. They're a happy kind of flower. All right, they're a little bit bigger seed. I'm going to put them down a little bit deeper. The general rule of thumb is you bury a seed twice as wide as it is, I believe. So pretty much the bigger the seed, the further down you put it. Is a good general rule. If it's a tiny seed, barely put it down there. All right, that's 3 done. Let's grab another one. We're gonna put Swiss chard in this smaller container. This apple juice container is not very big. I don't need a ton of Swiss chard. One of my favorite reasons to grow Swiss chard, is as a trap crop, because earwigs in my garden, I've only got a couple. Earwigs in my garden, I've only got 3. Oh, that's sad. I promise I'll finish the story. The earwigs in my garden, one year I had Swiss chard, and all the earwigs thought it was like the best place in town. All they did was come there. They must have came from the whole neighborhood. And what they did is they ate all my Swiss chard, but they left everything else. So, there we go. So it's considered a trap crop because it's going to keep safe the crops that I need them to leave alone. And I don't care too much about Swiss chard, so I didn't even mind that it ate the whole thing. And I also didn't mind that it put holes in the Swiss chard, because my Swiss chard was so tough and I had so much that it still looked pretty. And as they got holy and ugly looking, I just took them off and fed them to the chickens. And it pretty much worked for us for the entire season. Now, lavender seed, I'm putting lavender in this milk jug. It's teeny tiny. I'm just gonna sprinkle this on the top of the soil here. Remember, it's moist already. I'm just gonna finish this whole packet off. I'm just gonna press it lightly into the soil so it makes contact with that damp soil. Now, I didn't do any research on this, so watch. I'll find out that lavender needs dark. Actually, let's read the packet real quick. Let's see here. Germinate 14 to 30 days, 1/8 of an inch. That makes sense. It doesn't tell me if it needs light to germinate. We're just going to put it in the top because my general rule of thumb, small seeds, don't put them down low. All right, there's some lavender. One more container. All right, here's the Big Mama container. This is my experimental container this year. And I'm going to do the back half of this with butter crunch lettuce and the front half with red romaine. Let's find those. They're over here. And I'm just going to scatter sow these because obviously they're not going to grow in this container. The same thing for all of those. You can sow them much heavier than you would. They're not in their final resting place. I'm going to take these seedlings out of here and I am going to put them somewhere else in the garden. So if they come up right next to each other, nice and close, that's just fine with me. They're only going to be competing for light and water for a very short time. They're not going to get big enough. I'm just going to kind of mess up the soil and cover them up a little bit. They're not going to get messed up enough to do any real damage. And then I'm going to do red romaine. I always come out of this room every day filthier than ever. Do you see that? I just wipe my hand. Like my hands are filthy. It looks like I've been playing outside, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's funny to not leave my house and to come upstairs looking like a hobo. All right. And again, I'm just gonna punch those in, cover them up a little bit, make sure they get contact with that soil. Lettuce seed's not very big. It doesn't need to be too deep. All right, then I'm gonna find a top for that. And remember, I already had my husband drill holes in this for me. So this guy is ready to go out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Wintersow containers ready to go outside. And I am gonna take them outside today so I don't make the same fail I did last time where they start sprouting in my house. And that is going to take my, I had 11 outside, now I've got 6 more, I've got 17. I need 3 more before the end of February to hit my goal. Fingers crossed.